The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Oh, yo, what's going on, everybody? It must be Wednesday night for another. Wait a second. Wait, it's not Wednesday night. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday. It's not even nighttime, Prophet. It's like Thursday evening. All right. I'm going to let you guys know right now before we get into it that I'm having some serious Wi-Fi issues. So if we got to cut, I don't know. If I get cut out, Prophet will try and take over for us. But he's got the show. Actually, Prophet, that's a good idea. If I get cut out, you got the slides on the show. You could just go off of that until I make a return, remember?
Absolutely.
You can pull it up there. Listen, it might be my new sign hanging up in the back. I'm not sure if you could see it. It says, do it. Like, don't quit. But it says, do it. Did you get it, Prophet? It's like
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm a little baffled by it, but I get it.
Just do it, Prophet. That's kind of been my motto the past year or so with the way things are going. It's just do it, you know? Like, why the heck not? Just go for it, man. And I appreciate you guys joining us tonight on a Thursday evening edition of the Sling'n Proffet. You could probably hear in my voice. It's been bad, all right? We had a great Christmas party Saturday, and then it's been all downhill from there, okay? We had a great turnout, ton of people. I guess that's where the problem lied. What's up, Larry? Larry, Mrs. Prophet, Larry, everybody's in tonight. But I had a great time, great turnout. You know, Uncle Prophet was here. A couple of the guys from Fantasy League were here. We had a lot of fun. But that's about where the fun ended, because Sunday morning we woke up, and this wasn't no just usual, you know, after party feeling lousy. This was something different, and it kind of hit everybody. And there was a patient zero in attendance Saturday night somewhere. So I'm getting through. All right. You know, I had a little throat issue, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna try out a little new format tonight, Prophet. I'm excited about it. What's going on in the world of the profiteers down there?
Is that why there was nothing up all day for me to do my research on? We're doing something new. I mean, come on. You gotta let me in on this stuff, you know?
No. So I like to keep you on your toes. I think it goes a little bit better when you don't know what the hell we're talking about. Sometimes we get over prepare, and you know, it seems a little too pre-recorded, you know.
You know what you should do, though? You should reach out to like Nike or somebody and see if they would take that slogan, just do it. You know, maybe you could sell it to them.
I don't think anybody has that one, just do it, right? Nobody runs with that slogan yet.
Well, Nike did like 20
might be a good one.
ago.
Like almost I was thinking about another one too. It's just you know, have a nice day. Like, I don't think anybody runs with that yet. You know, maybe a big yellow smiley face, kind of like, you know, almost like that Forrest Gump movie where he's running around the country and he gets a face full of mud and puts his face on a yellow T-shirt and says, "Have a nice day." So maybe we're on to something here, Prophet. But
but didn't that stringy haired guy in wrestling take over that slogan too? We got to come up with something.
Oh yeah,
original.
that was
Cactus Jack and Dude Love and Mick Foley and Mankind.
Yeah. Mankind. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Mankind. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We got a huge weekend on deck. Starts tonight, actually, with a nice NFL game. Who we got? The Chargers and who?
And the Broncos. Denver going into LA.
Big time. Yeah, big time game tonight. We're gonna get through it. Like I said, we're not winging it, but we're going off cuff here, and we're just gonna go through. And you guys will see, we're just gonna go through and talk about a bunch of different topics, and we'll still hit on games of the week, and we'll still hit on, you know, maybe when it's not Thursday, we'll still talk about what happened the week before in football. But we're just gonna kind of go and roll with it and talk about all the. Basically our what's happening segment. It's going to be our whole, you know, we're going to turn it into our whole show because we feel like it gives better banter. It gives better banter. There's more talking. There's more back and forth with it. So that's how we're just gonna try it out tonight and see how it goes. I'm trying to keep this thing short. I don't know how much I got left longer in the old pipes here, but we'll play it by ear, Prophet.
Keep on medicating it with some of that bourbon there, and it'll be fine.
It's not bourbon. It's ginger ale and Crown Apple.
Okay.
But
Good stuff.
I don't think
too,
I put enough Crown Apple in there.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Anyway,
before
we're going
we move
on.
You brought up tonight's game, man. Who you got? Who you like in this one?
Listen, I've told you all year that I'm not big on Harbaugh. All right, I'm not a big Harbaugh fan. But then on the flip side of that, I was never big on the Broncos until I seen Bo Nix starting playing like a seasoned vet. And I've learned my lesson last year with C.J. Stroud not to get too high on these quarterbacks. After their first year, because look at what he's doing basically his rookie or his sophomore season. But listen, there's no doubt that he's having a nice rookie campaign. Sean Payton's got him doing the right things, and Justin Herbert, though, I look at Justin Herbert and he's not turning the ball over. He's being smart with the football. It's a big time game for both of these teams, and I don't think anybody thought that the Broncos were going to be in the position that they're in right now. Maybe a couple with the Chargers, but the Chargers have always been that team where it's like, hey, maybe they'll be great, or they should be great, but they always fizzle out to be 9-8, 9-7, 9-9, 7-9, whatever it is. But tonight, these Thursday night games have been hit or miss. Honestly, sometimes they're great, or we get one like last week, which was a dud. But I'm gonna go with the Broncos tonight. I think. Excuse me. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites here. I'm going with the Broncos tonight in a close one. Why? Who do you like?
No, I kind of like the Broncos too. I mean they're playing. It's a huge game, man. This game has major playoff implications. If the Chargers lose, what I think Denver's 9-5. The Chargers are 8-6. That'll put the Chargers at 8-7. Man, they'll be in a tough spot. The Chargers haven't been playing well, and Herbert isn't turning the ball over, but he's also not doing much either. And I think Denver's going to stick it to him a little bit here tonight. I did put a bet in on over 19.5 on Denver tonight, team total. So for everybody that's out there watching and listening.
That was the over for. I said that was the over for the team for Denver.
Yeah, well, Denver. Well, the over under is 41, and Denver's a dog in this game, a 3-point underdog. So, yeah. I mean,
I see it at 2.5 right now, but still, yeah. I mean,
you can play any over under on a team that you want, with the alternate spreads and all. But yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. But you're not getting the line on it.
No, the first plus number was 19.5 for me. So I think Denver's going to score 27 themselves tonight anyhow.
You mentioned this being a big time. You mentioned this game having big time playoff implications for fantasy football. Playoffs are already in full swing. Some people might already be in their championship match by now, but if not, you're in your first or second round. I want to talk about something that I came across this week, and you tell me, Prophet. All right, is this a party foul or not? I was reading this article online, and this fantasy football league, these two players found a loophole in the system here to where in the final week of the season, if they tied, they both made the playoffs and they would like knock somebody else out. So instead of playing and battling and being competitors, they both benched their entire roster and they had a 0-0 tie. Is this a party foul, Prophet? Because I think that's a party foul, in my opinion. That's some Bush League crap there. You're keeping somebody else out of the playoffs because you guys decide that you're going to go in and you both want to get in. Is that smart or is it Bush League?
Well, it's definitely Bush League. You got to give these guys credit for thinking about doing this. Okay, I mean, I would have never thought of doing it, but look, I've been running a fantasy league for 32 years now. Okay, if anybody in our league tried doing something like this, their accounts would be locked, and they would not have access to their team. So it's
Dude,
not like they
I'll
can.
be honest with you, I'm not even going to lie to you. Me and my wife were out of the playoffs, and Kaylee had a first round bye, and my wife asked me the other day. She was like, "If I cut some of my players, can Kaylee pick them up?" I said, "I don't know if that happens or not," but I said, "You're not doing that." I said, "That's against honor
Right,
code." You
right.
know,
That's yeah. You don't do
I don't know if
crap
I
like
don't know if
that.
you're able to do it or not. I don't know if they let teams that aren't in the playoffs even make moves. But either
Oh
way,
yeah,
it's against the honor code of the league.
yeah. Well, that's why in the email to the league the other day, I had to stress again because sometimes guys, for some reason, they want to beat everybody in the toilet bowl. I mean, and they make moves. I have to stress to them, you cannot make moves and you can't cut players off of your team.
Mm.
Because that gives an unfair advantage to the guys that are out there that are in the playoffs. But
Yeah, I don't
no,
know. I
shady
saw.
shady is a good word for it, Larry. Absolutely, it's a shady deal. And guess what? You wouldn't be in my league if you would do it one time and then you'd be gone.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the pot is for this league or something like that. Because unless they're playing for a couple grand or something like that, this is just bush league in my opinion. Just play the game, and the best two players at the or the whoever wins gets in, and if that third person's on the outside looking in and they get in, and so be it. But that's that's friggin' bush league. You know
Absolutely.
what else is
Hey,
bush league?
no, no, no.
You see this story, Marshall, and I
Move,
know it's a couple days old now.
hold on. Before you move on, okay? You brought up a fantasy story here. How about we stay with fantasy for a second here, okay? And that move last week by Jonathan Taylor. I mean, have you read
Yeah.
anything
Mhm.
online about like the craziness that this all caused? I mean,
No, I
in
haven't. I
our
mean, I know what it caused, just off the top of my head, just knowing the ramifications of it, and not only in fantasy wise, but in that game.
the
They cost
game
them the game.
cost them the momentum in the game for
Yeah, the moment.
sure.
I mean, it was pretty early, but
Yeah,
um,
but in our league alone, I mean, he would have scored. He would have gotten an additional 11 points for the touchdown from a distance. And Big Will, who is in our who is in our audience tonight, he had Taylor, and he lost, needing to win to get into the playoffs. He lost by 7. And that touchdown would have given him 11 points. He would have been in the playoff. He sent me an article about it. Like something like 77% of the people that had Taylor in the playoffs lost their playoff games because of him dropping the ball.
well,
I mean,
I
what do
mean,
these guys think? I don't
it
understand
happens
this
once or
league.
twice a year. That's the crazy
I
part. It
I
still
know
happens.
it's like get across the line, man. Why do you chance it's so close? Like cross
I
the
don't know,
line,
but like I
drop the
said, you
ball.
you see it happen.
But
Sorry, I'm tightening my mic. You see it
but yeah,
happen
I
once
mean,
or twice a year. I like it's stupid. It's not even stupidity. It's just not being aware. Like you said, you think you're across the line. I guess when you're moving that fast, I've never moved that fast in my life, so I don't know what it feels like. So to be able to be running that fast and then drop a ball thinking that you're in the end zone, um, yeah, I mean,
and the ramifications that your idiocy. I mean, my gosh, like you said, not just the fantasy, but the game
as I
itself,
said, these guys don't
and
really care about our fantasy teams, but
right, and
but
but
the
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
on that game, yes,
But you're
I'm sure
talking a
he
6-8 team now who could have been 7-7 potentially. I mean, you don't know how that would have affected the game in the long run. I mean, Denver still may have won, but you don't know that. But
right.
Indianapolis could be 7-7, and a game behind in the division now. And instead, they need all kinds of help to get into playoffs.
Yeah. I'm sure nobody feels worse about it than Jonathan Taylor, who's been nothing but a workhorse for that team, but I get it. We're moving on. Marshall forced a withdrawal from the bowl game. I'm sure, like I said, this story's been about a week old now, or a little less than a week old. Marshall head coach Charles Huff leaves for greener pastures, and if you want to call it greener pastures, he leaves Marshall with a winning record to take over at Southern Miss, who was last in their conference last year. I believe it's Conference USA is what they're in. So he takes over at Southern Miss because, from what I understand, Marshall did him dirty. They weren't giving him, the money or the new contract or something like that, something along those lines. So he said, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna pack up and I'm gonna go. And I got offered more money from a different school, and he took over at Southern Miss. In doing so, just like you see with Kurt Signetti in Indiana and JMU, because Signetti was the head coach at JMU last year. When he left, the entire JMU roster pretty much went with him. Same thing happened here in Marshall. The entire roster went with Charles Huff to Southern Miss, or entered the portal and opted out of the bowl game. They had, they're playing Army in the Armed Forces Bowl, and I think it's the Armed Forces Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And they had to find a replacement. They wound up replacing them with Louisiana Tech, who's 5-7. It feels like we're going back to like the COVID days where we're just picking and choosing teams, finding teams that are willing to jump on a plane and play football. But you want to say, you want to feel for, I guess, I don't know. You want to, I don't know what you want to do. Maybe who do you be pissed at? Maybe I'm pissed at at Marshall University administration for not giving this guy what he deserves. In the day and age where these guys are getting contracts and extensions left and right for doing well. He did great this year, and he didn't. Now he finished first in Conference USA in the East. I don't. Did they wound up winning the conference? I'm not sure if they won the conference title game or not.
They wouldn't be playing already if they won the conference. But.
So let me see here. I want to see what I can't find. I'm trying to find
they were
the
8-4 for the year.
No, they were 10-3. I'm sorry, they're not in the Conference USA. They're in the Sun Belt. Okay, so they finished 10-3. I don't know if do they not have a Sun Belt championship game or what?
No, there wasn't one this year anyhow.
Actually, there was. Yes, there was.
Oh yeah, Jacksonville State, right?
No.
Wait, the team is playing.
Marshall won it. Marshall won because Louisiana is the number one team in the West, and the last game Marshall played was at Louisiana, and they beat the crap out of them 31-3, and in the Sun Belt Championship. So Marshall wins the Sun Belt Championship, goes 10-3, and this guy doesn't have a contract and or no extension or whatever. So Southern Miss comes out of the woodwork, bottom of the barrel in the Sun Belt, and says, "Hey, we'll pay you to come rejuvenate our team." They were 1-11 this year at Southern Miss. So he takes the job, and he takes all of his players with him, and they had to bow out of the bowl game. What do you think about this, and who's really to blame here?
I don't know, man. I mean, you know how I feel about the transfer portal, okay? But the way I feel about kids transferring to follow a coach is completely different, okay? Because kids get recruited by coaches, and they like that coach. Now, if the coach leaves after them being there for 2 years, and they have a chance to go with the coach, and the coach still wants them, they go, and good for them. But it's a lot different than just transfer to saying, you know what, I'm not happy here. I'm going to go somewhere else where I could possibly make more money or get on the playing field. I mean, them withdrawing from the bowl game, obviously they had no choice. I mean, they
didn't have a roster. They literally said that they didn't have they didn't have enough players to field a safe roster, which is unreal to me. And in an FBS school where you got 85 kids on scholarship, but it's just the way of the world, man. I saw a tweet today that said that there's a team. It might be tonight or tomorrow. There's a team playing in a bowl game that doesn't have a head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, something else, starting quarterback, blah blah blah. Like, it's such a crazy time right now, with the bowl, the bowl season and the transfer portal and all these coaches. And you talk about the transfer portal, and I don't know if you saw, the Penn State backup quarterback had to enter the transfer portal, and he's not playing in the playoff game. But the transfer portal system is so broken because even James Franklin, who's the head coach at Penn State, came out and said, I think the kid's name was Bo something. Bo did not want to leave this program until the end of the year. But with the rules of the transfer portal, he had no other choice.
Right. It's either
so he either had to stay and wait until the end of their season, and at that point you get a 5-day window because the transfer portal is only open for a certain amount of time. So you get a 5-day window after your season ends if you want to go into the portal. And say that their season doesn't end until the middle of January or early January. Everybody else has already been out of the portal. The portal's been closed for 3 or 4 weeks. All these teams got their starting quarterbacks now.
They got who they wanted.
Right? Drew Aller, the starting quarterback at Penn State, announced the other day that he's coming back next year. So this kid wants to go play. And, you don't knock the kid for wanting to play. So he's going to go somewhere where he's, almost guaranteed a starting spot. He's got to go now. He's not allowed to play in the playoff game, or he's I don't know if he's not allowed to. He's just not playing in the playoff game, I guess, at the risk of getting hurt or something. But the system's flawed, no doubt. And the coaches are speaking out about it. I think the coaches are all saying, like, the transfer portal should wait until after bowl season. Because how do you prepare for a bowl game not knowing how many guys
you're going to have, right?
So
exactly. Guess what? With no penalty for transferring, okay, this kid from Penn State now, the only thing he loses or the only bad thing that happens to him right now is that he feels bad about leaving his teammates, okay? Because, he's basically, if the kid's any good, I don't know, but he could be screwing Penn State if their starter gets hurt.
Like I said, James Franklin came out and defended the kid, and he said he understands why he did what he did. But a Proffet, like, you talk about these kids leaving and stuff like that, and I see your point, but coaches do the same thing, and they don't get penalized for it. So why are the coaches allowed to do it year after year, but the kids can't do it? You get a guy like who knows? I don't know. Take Signetti for example. You're climbing the ranks. You go to James Madison. You have 2 good years at JMU, and you're recruiting kids for 4 or 5 years to life. And then you say, hey, well, I just had 2 great years at JMU. Now I got $2 million extra offered to me per year at Indiana. And I'm not knocking that at all. That's not the point. Because if somebody was waving a 300, 400% raise in my face, I'd be entertaining it too.
I agree.
But I'm saying we can't sit there and knock the kids for wanting to, make the most out of their opportunities and talk about commitment to a program when the coaches don't have a commitment to the program either. What I'm saying?
The coaches have commitment to money. And prior to the last, 3 years now that the portal's been in place, now the kids have commitment to money. So it isn't going to get any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better for sure. And, I don't know. With Signetti, did he break his contract at JMU?
I'm sure that there was a buyout associated with it. But these programs got no, and we're going to talk about a buyout. Matter of fact, it's a great segue into our next slide. You want to talk about a buyout? The GOAT, the greatest coach of all time, arguably, to a lot of people, Bill Belichick, just went to University of North Carolina, of all places. The greatest coach of all time. The greatest coach of all time goes to the University of North Carolina. And my question here is, will he stay? He's getting paid $10 million over 5 years, $10 million a year. Now, people ask how the hell that's done. It's like I think it's like a $1 million base with like incentive, like $9 million in incentives or whatever. He has a clause in his contract. It's a $10 million buyout before June 1st. Anytime after June 1st, that buyout goes down to $1 million. That leads me to the question, will he stay? Because, listen, his name's already being thrown around for a lot of NFL jobs, the Jets in particular. Okay? But you think about that, June 1st is way too late for the NFL to be hiring a coach.
Oh, sure.
Obviously. So where, like you say, oh, well, the buyout goes down to $1 million after June 1st, and nobody's paying a $10 million buyout to hire Bill Belichick. Maybe they are. Or maybe they negotiate something and settle on a deal. But this seems a little too fishy to me. Bill Belichick and everybody who knows him has come out and said he's not the cuddly type that's going to go in and go into a recruit's house and have dinner with the recruit and tell him how much he loves them and we really want you here and you're the best thing since sliced bread, because he's not going to do it. But what he will do is bring solid NFL validity to that place immediately and say, if you want to go to the NFL and you want to have a lasting career in the NFL, we will prepare you for that. What do you make of this situation? Do you think he's going to stay? And is it a good move, or is he just trying to get back into coaching somehow?
Nah, I don't think he's just trying to get back into coaching because, with all the positions that are open now in the NFL and are going to be open at the end of the season, he can pretty much have any job he wants. Okay. I'm a little bit, baffled about this one here, Sling. Like, why North Carolina? Like, what does he have roots there, or why the Tar Heels? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's not a top-notch program. In this day and age, it's nearly impossible to build a consistent top-notch program, which is why I still believe Saban got out of coaching. Why is he going there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I asked the question. Is he just trying to, did he took the first job he was offered? I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't the first job he was offered, but there's no doubt in my mind that he wants to be back in the NFL, right? Like, that's where I think he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, you would certainly think, but I mean, I don't know. I hope there's a lot of money in Charlotte, because that's the only way he's going to get kids in there. Well,
he's not in Charlotte. It's in Chapel Hill.
Whatever.
Yeah, like 6 hours east. But still, I get what you're saying. Larry says his girlfriend's young enough to make the cheer squad. She really is. But I mean, those are the memes going around. You say Bill Belichick can't recruit, just show him his girlfriend. He's dating like a 30-year-old girl. So she might actually be in her 20s, which is kind of weird. But
I mean, I hope for his sake that he's going there and he's planning on staying there, but and try to build a program. But it's a different game than the NFL. I mean, there's not a whole lot of coaches that switch, from the NFL to the college and vice versa and do well. I mean, Pete Carroll really is, one of the few that come to mind.
Sticking with this topic, there was some news that came out today in college football that it makes the wild, wild west of college football. We talk about the transfer portal and stuff. It makes it a little bit more wilder with the new junior college rule. The ruling today states that junior college players no longer will lose any years of eligibility for playing at a junior college. Now, it used to be you go to a junior college, you start your clock, and your eligibility runs there. You either go to a junior college because A, your grades aren't good enough, or B, you don't have as many offers or whatever as you think you should have. That's why you would usually go to a junior college. Now, you can go to a junior college without just to grow, just to get better, have another year or two of playing before you start your clock. Now my wheels start turning today, and I'm running with the idea of you get a program, you get a guy like Bill Belichick. I'm reaching out to the first junior college I see down in North Carolina, and I say, hey, we're working together now. We're gonna up your. I'm going to that coaching staff. We're gonna up your salary, or we're gonna fire you, and I'm gonna bring in who I want. We're gonna up your salary. You're gonna get sponsored by Jordan. You're gonna run this ship how I want it, and how I tell you to run it, or how obviously Belichick's not going to take that on himself, but how my staff tells you to run it. And this is going to be a feeding program directly into my school. You're not going to send they're going to come to this program knowing that they're going to UNC. They're going to play here for 2 years out of high school, become men, and then they're just going to transfer into me with 4 years of eligibility, and they'll be 19, 20-year-old kids before they're even a freshman on the field. I was 19, so I'd be a 21-year-old kid before you're even a freshman on the field. That's where my mind went with it. How crazy of an idea is that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that at all. Not in this day and age, pal. I mean, maybe 10 years ago or so, yeah, but yeah, it's all about the Benjamins today, and you can't force a kid to stay anywhere. Now you don't lose eligibility.
Listen, you still have to get into the school. I mean, if you got a 2.0 GPA, you're not getting in no matter what, whether you're all American or not.
Right, but you get your grades up at the JUCO, okay, and then what? Now it's time to enroll in North Carolina, and you say, you know what, Duke just offered me a full ride plus $1 million a year in NIL. I'm going to Duke, and what can they do?
Oh, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that these are the possibilities of it. You could listen. You go to a school. You think a school like Texas or something like that isn't going to be paying those JUCO players as well? You know what I'm like? It's just I'm just saying it opens up a whole can of worms here, and you can go play as for 4 years.
It's ridiculous. Now, granted,
you got to go. You go for I mean, most of these schools are 2-year schools, but you go for 2 years. You're not losing any eligibility. You're going to be 24, 25, 26 years old playing college football.
You're a grown man playing against boys.
Yep. Well, I said this rule absolutely kills high school recruiting. Kills high school recruiting. This rule, like I said, it's the minor league. It's college football minor league system is exactly what it is. You go play somewhere without penalty, and you're getting your schooling. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
And I mean, what it's doing to the kids, this rule, okay, what it does to the kids now is, I mean, think about it. You're coming out of high school, okay, and you're good, but you're not great. Now you got to decide, okay, if I go to JUCO for 2 years, man, I'm not going to make any money today, but I can make a lot of money, in 2 years, possibly, if I get better. Or if I go right to college now and I get better, then I can make money in the NFL quicker if I'm that good. But I mean, it just makes no sense what they're doing to this whole sport. It's ridiculous in my mind.
I'll tell you what, though, it's going to keep players in college longer. There's no rush to jump to the NFL anymore.
No, hell. I mean, Caitlin Clark is, a multi-millionaire, and it's not. I mean, she stayed in college. She's out of college 1 year, and she's like one of the wealthiest women in the world. Well, not the world, but the country. Yeah,
she's got a lot. Yeah, she's got a lot of endorsements going on and stuff. But yeah, Let's switch gears a little bit here. We didn't talk about this. This almost seems like old news, but the 49ers haven't played since this happened, right?
No.
Devondre Campbell refuses to play in a game. I guess the head coach tells him to go into the game, and he says, "I'm not playing." And he says, "What?" And he winds up getting escorted off the field. Apparently, after a hostile visit from general manager John Lynch.
Yep.
John Lynch went down to the field, and John Lynch, if you guys remember, I mean, obviously we all remember, but for the younger viewers out there, John Lynch, when he was a player, was an absolute murderer.
He
would take your head off. And I'm watching, I guess it was maybe McAfee or something like that. I'm watching one of those shows, and apparently John Lynch has got an alter ego. It's called like Red 47 or something like that, or 47 Red. And they said when this comes out, you just don't want to be around it. You want to get the hell away. So apparently this Red 47 came out on the sideline talking to Devondre Campbell. He wound up getting suspended for 3 games because they said they didn't want to release him to be able to get picked up. Yeah, they didn't want to release him, and then another team could pick him up and he could get rewarded for his actions. So they wound up appealing to the league. They suspended him for the final 3 games of the season. He won't play for them for the rest of the year, and then I imagine he'll be cut at the end of the season. I want to say this has never happened to me, but it has happened to me as a coach. But I'm dealing with high school kids. You talk about the NFL. You talk about the NFL. This guy's making, I don't know how much he makes, and I don't know what kind of a role player he is or who he is, but dude,
Devondre Campbell?
Yeah.
He's one of the top linebackers in the league.
Is he?
Yeah.
So why the hell was he out of the game?
Because they brought him in. Remember when Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles last year in the Super Bowl coming off the sideline?
Yeah.
They brought him in to replace Dre Greenlaw. And he knew that when Greenlaw was ready to come back, that it was Greenlaw's job.
So Greenlaw came back.
Greenlaw's first game back was Thursday night, and he got pushed down the chart. He was pissed off because a rookie was ahead of him. He got pushed down to number 3.
Damn.
And
then somebody gets hurt. I thought I heard somewhere that Greenlaw got hurt again.
Greenlaw got hurt, and the rookie in front of him got hurt also, and he refused to go into the game. And that's when Lynch came down and said, "Hey, you ain't playing. You ain't on the sideline, pal. Hit the pike."
I saw a story today that said, and it was just a snippet. I didn't read the whole thing, but they said that they knew they made a mistake, or they knew that there was a risk bringing him in. I guess he's got prior history of bad behavior on a team or conduct detrimental to the team or whatever. Yeah. But man, what a just a nasty just story. Just terrible, something terrible to happen. Like, dude, come on, man. You're in the NFL and you're going to be salty. You're going to say screw it. You basically, well, I don't want to say he threw away his career because unfortunately there's going to be a team out there that's going to sign him.
Maybe.
And,
maybe.
But dude,
okay, look, I said he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He's not that good today. He was at one time earlier in his career with the Packers. He was a top flight linebacker, okay? Mm-hmm. But do you really? Yeah, somebody will sign him, okay? I mean, hell, they signed Michael Vick years ago. Somebody will sign him.
Speaking of Michael Vick, proud new coach at Norfolk State University.
But
anyway,
but no, I mean, at the time, okay, when the rookie got hurt, it's a 6-6 ball game. The Rams are about the San Fran's 40-yard line. Okay, San Fran's playing for their playoff lives in that game, and this guy decided, hey, you know what? I ain't going in the game. I mean, that's what. You see all these stories that were coming out, the remarks from the Niners and all, they were all pissed.
They were. Right.
They didn't want him around. Yeah, Kittle had nothing nice to say about him, man. Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah, there were a few guys that and I was happy that they actually spoke up and said what they said, because they could have easily just been like, hey, maybe he's going through something or something like that. And, no, like they're like, no, hopefully that's the last time that somebody said, hopefully that's the last time that happens or something along those
Right.
lines, meaning get rid of the guy. But there's no place for that, man. There's no place for that. Well, speaking of, somebody losing their job and being pissed off, I sent you this text the other night. Kirk Cousins is out. Michael Penix is in Atlanta. And you go back to draft night and we all question this move, and you say, well, we brought Kirk in to be our guy, and for Michael, he's going to be our project, and he's going to learn from him, and he's going to be our guy down the road. Well, I guess down the road is now, because he's in, Cousins is out, and there's no sign of anything changing from that. They got a decision to make with Cousins, I guess, at the end of the season. They said whatever they do with him, there's going to be about $60 million in dead cap money.
Yeah.
With Kirk Cousins, whatever you do with him. Listen, I'll admit, I haven't been following the situation. Has Penix played a whole lot this year?
Hasn't played at all.
Hasn't played at all.
No.
So we're just going. I mean, I guess now the week now is to do it against the Giants. But we're making that decision, and we're running with it, and we'll figure out, Kirk Cousins' huge mega salary at some other time. I guess is that what we're going with? Is this the right move? I know Cousins has been struggling. I think the last 4 games he's only got like 1 touchdown, like 9 interceptions or something like that. But is this the right move at the right time? What do you think?
Well, and that's what I said to you the other night in response to your text. I'm actually shocked that it happened now. Okay, he did not play well again in Las Vegas on Monday night, but they won. They are 1 game behind Tampa Bay with 3 left. If they tie Tampa Bay, they hold tiebreaker on them, and they win the division. They go to the playoffs. I mean, now, I hope Michael Penix comes in and does well, but I just don't think today is the day to do this move. I mean, you're 3 games out. Yeah, I get it. You still have a shot at the playoffs, man, and you're going to an unproven rookie now, and you're paying this guy $45 million to sit on your bench now. Come on.
I mean, you're talking. He's got 3,500 yards, which is 7th in the NFL. He's got 18 touchdowns, and he's got 16 interceptions. I guess they're just QBR of 52. I mean, he's 22nd in the league in QBR.
He's not doing it. There's no doubt about it. But even with him not having a good year,
but here's the thing now. Who the hell's got to be held responsible for signing him in this offseason to the contract that they signed him in, and then going out and drafting a quarterback in the first round? Not only the first round, the top 15 pick.
Right. I mean, look,
somebody's got to be held responsible here. You could have gone out and gotten a holdover quarterback for a hell of a lot cheaper than Kirk Cousins.
Exactly. And if you were that concerned, about him coming back from his injury, that you had to draft a quarterback with your number 1 pick, you don't give the man $180 million and guarantee 100 of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to pay this guy $100 million.
It's just unbelievable, and I don't know. Like you said, the timing of it. You said they're 1 game out of first place in the division with 3 games left. They got the Giants this week. Hey, maybe they think, hey, get the kid's feet wet, see what he could do against a poorish Giants team, and go from there. But it's clear that they've moved on from Cousins. The Cousins experience is done in Atlanta. But that's the thing that pisses me off, man, about the NFL and the NFL front offices. These decisions are made, and nobody's held accountable for them.
Nope.
Somebody should be held accountable for signing Kirk Cousins to the contract they did, and then drafting Penix where they did, and then benching Cousins how they did. I memean, listen.
Somebody's head should roll.
It makes you wonder, man. It makes you wonder. We're moving on. There's a huge.
Larry said Penix has 38 yards on the year, so he's played a little, but probably in mop-up time.
We got a huge weekend on tap between the NFL and college, opening weekend of college football playoffs. We're in the middle of bowl season. We got some bowl games on this weekend. Tomorrow night is Indiana versus Notre Dame. We'll talk about that game in a couple minutes. We got SMU versus Penn State at 12 o'clock on Saturday. You got the Texans and the Chiefs at 1 o'clock on Saturday, which I don't love the conflicting games here. I don't know why they schedule it like this, why the NFL has got to take over Saturdays too now during college football season still. You want to have a Saturday night game, whatever, go for it. But you don't need a 1 o'clock and a 4 o'clock game on a Saturday, especially not at the level of these games. So that bothers me a little bit. So you got the Texans and the Chiefs at 1. Clemson at Texas play at 4. The Steelers and the Ravens play at 4:30, and then you got Tennessee and Ohio State in the college football playoffs at 8 o'clock. Huge weekend on tap. Proffet. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think I have anything on the schedule, which is good. I'm still trying to, recuperate the voice here. But, hey, if you had any thoughts of going to one of these college football playoff games.
Hold on a second, Sling. You got to go back to that.
Why?
Because
why am I going back?
Why? Because I'm. This is absolute bullshit. Okay, that the NFL they need to get out of their own way. Okay, for them to take and put 2 games on Saturday when the college playoffs are going on Saturday is ridiculous. They know this. They know that the playoffs were set for this point in time. There is absolutely no reason for them games to be played on Saturday. These 2 games are being played on Saturday because they're the same 4 teams that are playing on Christmas Day. So they have to play them. They play them on Saturday so they have enough time off.
All right, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Well, no, it doesn't make sense. You talk about a Christmas Day game on a Wednesday. That's stupid to me too.
Right.
But
so why not give them week 16 off? Not week 16. Yes, week 16 off per se. Play them on Saturday, and then let them play again on Sunday or Monday. I mean, it's the same thing. They're going to be playing the 2 games in the same time frame. But they're still getting their Christmas Day games, and they're not interfering with college football.
I don't know. Where are they getting their Christmas Day games from if they're not these 4 teams?
Well, they would be these 4 teams. But now these 4 teams play Saturday, and they play Wednesday, and then they're off next week.
Well, it's technically not off. That's the beginning of the week.
Right.
Wednesday but that's the beginning of the week. So that's the beginning of week 17.
Okay. So why not let them play this week? And let them
or why not just play on Sunday and not play on Christmas Day? Well, like Larry just said.
Right. I mean,
and Larry said that the Christmas used to be set for the NBA. And I think we're all okay with that. And I'm not an NBA guy, but I'll watch it on Christmas Day. That's probably the one day a year I'll watch the NBA.
Right. But no, they have to get themselves involved and try and monopolize everything. The NFL is really starting to aggravate me.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? You're not doing nothing about it. Anyway, like I was saying, you're still going to watch them. And you're still going to bet them?
No, I'll bet them, but I'm going to watch the playoffs.
All right. Well, you want to go to the game because you're not going to, is my point of this slide. Open up your wallet if you want to go to a college football playoff game. Take out a second mortgage. And I found this little table here that kind of breaks things down into flight and cost of tickets and stuff like that. I just wanted to touch on one particular thing that I personally saw was the hotel prices in State College. And I don't know if you've ever been to State College, but there's not a whole lot going on up there. It's Penn State football. There's a few hotels. There's one road into the stadium. There's one road out of the stadium. It's a it's a terrible traffic experience. It's a little small town with 100 and however many thousand people packed into it for a football game. These hotels are charging $1,500 a night. to come get a hotel room with a 2-night minimum to come get a hotel room for the playoff game. I mean, you talk about price gouging. You talk about everything that's wrong with the world today.
Yeah.
And just jacking prices up, supply and demand. I get it. Make the money while the money's there to be made. But like, dude, who's going to these games? Who's going to these college football games? It's either the students who are already on campus or the incredibly wealthy. That's probably why there's still thousands of tickets left. And not for nothing, and I heard this from a couple different sources, these first round home playoff games, they're not being run by the schools. So they're being run by the NCAA.
I can believe that.
So when you're going into Penn State and you're talking about a whiteout and you're used to hearing Zombie Nation being played on third down or whatever, I read something that SMU has their own pregame hype video that's going to be played on the big screen at Beaver Stadium because it's almost like a neutral site game at the host school, which is crap to me. That means that the NCAA is getting all that revenue back, ticket sales, all that crap. That ain't the school.
Well, I mean, there were only 1,000 tickets, I believe, that were put aside for Tennessee people for their game against Ohio State Saturday night. Okay, and they were begging Ohio State people not to sell their tickets to people from Tennessee because they don't want more people, up there and all. But
and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that there's going to be a substantial amount of Tennessee people at the game on Saturday night.
That's what I'm hearing too. I mean, it's not that far. It's like a 6-hour, well, maybe an 8-hour drive. Okay. But yeah, you know what's like this slide here, okay, is the reason that, and I didn't look at last night. I didn't look at last night's attendance, okay, but the Western Michigan game on Saturday, the Memphis game on Tuesday, they had 12,000 people at the stadium for these games. I mean, now it's going to be different now because, like you said, the NCAA is, they're the ones that are selling the tickets and all. So you're going to have people coming in from all over the country, I'm sure, to see these games. But you can't afford to follow your team. Who can get on the road? I mean, $3,000 to go and watch a football game. That really, the baked potatoes San Francisco oil game. Like, who the hell wants to watch it? Who's going to spend that kind of money?
Talk about baked potatoes?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I can't remember what the hell that San Francisco Bowl was the other night.
These aren't the prices for the bowl games, Prophet. These are just the prices for these playoff games.
I get it, Sling, but you think that the same isn't happening?
No.
I mean,
I mean, maybe a little bit more, but you're not. I guarantee you go up and you go look at the price for the Cure.com bowl or whatever it is, and you could find tickets for $30. Like it's not. Yeah. I don't think that's the case with all these smaller bowls, but. I'm just saying, it takes away it. This takes away from the home field advantage a little bit. It's like I said, it's almost a neutral site game at a home field stadium, which obviously there's going to be more Penn State fans than SMU, but it's not going to be your typical Penn State experience like everybody's used to seeing on Saturdays. But we're going to move on here.
It should be. I mean, I really don't think it should be.
Why?
Well, because unless you're going to do it like the NFL, okay, that is one thing that the NFL does right, I think, with the playoff games being on home sites until the championship game, then being neutral, okay? Like, why is it only the first 4 games are on home fields, but the next 4 games are on neutral, and then the 2 after that are on neutral, and the 1 after that's on neutral?
Well, because these games aren't these first round games aren't bowl games. the next round is technically bowl games.
They attach a name to it. I get it, and they make you travel to. But I'm just saying. I mean, it's a playoff game. It's next week.
But you can't have
a playoff game.
a 12-team playoff with the top 12 teams, and then still have the FedEx Orange Bowl with somebody in the next 12 best teams.
Right.
It's not going to be.
So
there's not going to be a draw for it.
So make these 4 bowl games bowl games. That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know. You're saying have them all at neutral sites.
Yeah.
I kind of like the first round being at home sites, but
Sling, you're talking. Okay, you talk about the Cleveland Pittsburgh game a couple of weeks ago being in snow. Okay, SMU has to travel to Happy Valley this week. SMU ain't ever seen snow, and they're going to see it. They're going to see it in the first round of the playoffs. Is that fair?
It's gonna be on the sideline. It's not supposed to snow during the game, but yeah.
I mean, Ohio State is supposed to be snowing. Tennessee ain't used to playing in snow. Yeah, I mean, so
Tennessee was also practicing. Supposed to be 16 degrees in Ohio State. And Tennessee was also practicing indoors the other day. So you might want to take a trip down to Knoxville and let those boys know to get out in the elements a little bit.
Well, Heupel don't want to be out in the cold.
Well, that's his fault. We're moving on. Hollywood Brown set the return for the Chiefs versus Texans. This is a big-time matchup, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. The Chiefs getting back a big-time receiving threat, which they haven't had. Xavier Worthy's been doing a good job for him. Travis Kelce's been coming into his own. What do you make of this? Do you think this is going to be a big bolster? I mean, the Chiefs, you talk about coming into their own at the end of the year. They got Pacheco back now. Hollywood Brown's going to be back. You got Xavier Worthy, who's been playing well. Mahomes is starting. Andy Reid already said that, and you got your ever steady Travis Kelce. Are the Chiefs dangerous? Are they the team to look out for? Going down the road here, or what do you think? What do you got going on in this game?
The rich get richer, man. That's
sure.
And
I agree.
Let's face it, though. The same way we were talking about, somebody needing to be held responsible for the idiotic moves that these teams make. I mean, you got to pat Andy Reid and their GM on the back. DeAndre Hopkins in the middle of the season when they lose, a couple of receivers, they need help. They go out and get it. Now, okay, Rashee Rice ain't back, but they got 3 top flight receivers. If Marquise comes back and is back to normal, I mean, you got DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood, Worthy, and like you said, Kelce. Yeah, and next year they got Rashee Rice coming back to them. So yeah, I mean, this is big for Mahomes. Gives him another weapon to throw to. I saw last week he was looking downfield a lot more. I don't know if he was just getting ready to, looking forward to more Hollywood coming in this week, but he was trying to stretch the field more. This is going to help them. It's going to help them immensely.
You got
probably get a 3rd ring.
You got them over the Texans.
Yeah. I think they beat the Texans up this weekend.
All right. We will see. I agree with you there. I do, like you said, the rich get richer, and talk about a team not afraid to make moves, and they've proven to be that. If they got holes, they fill them, and they've done so. So, did Pittsburgh get exposed? I love this picture, by the way. Did Pittsburgh get exposed by the Eagles this past weekend, and can they rebound? They got a huge game against the Ravens coming up. The Eagles, I don't know what to say about the Eagles anymore, man. They're just until somebody can stop them, they're the hottest team in the league, and they laid the whooping on the Steelers, 27-13. Tomlin didn't know what hit them. Did they get exposed by these guys, or is this a one-off? Tomlin's downplaying it. Said we lost one game. The reporter asked him, "Does this spiral? You know, how do you keep this from spiraling?" He says, "It's one game. Is this one game, or do the Steelers need to be worried here?
Steelers
Because they got the Ravens this weekend, you know."
And then they go out to Kansas City on Christmas Day. Yeah, they've got a pretty tough schedule. They didn't get exposed. The Prophet exposed them last week. He told you this was going to happen. Their downward spiral started last week. Now, they've got a great record against Lamar Jackson. Okay, but they got an injured TJ Watt, which is going to hurt them this week. Okay, Lamar, I believe, and the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers this week. And then the Steelers are going to go into Kansas City on Wednesday, and they're going to get spanked again. And the Steelers may end up looking up, trying to hope for a playoff spot. That face is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, picture. I saw that live, and I was like, I got to screenshot that for the podcast. But so you got the Ravens this weekend.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, I had the Steelers a couple of weeks ago against the Ravens, but T.J. Watt not being 100% is going to be huge in this game. I mean, he's the best defensive player in the league right now, and you know, he can't go and screw up Lamar Jackson's day. I still don't think Lamar is going to do well, but I think Baltimore is going to win this game.
We'll see how it plays out for sure on Saturday afternoon. This one's for you, Prophet. Rudolph to light the way for the Titans. Get what I did there? Did you see it?
I get it.
The quarterback to start over Will Levis. Titans have changed the helm. They got your boy, and the only reason I put this in there is A, to make that pun, B, because I know you're a big Mason Rudolph guy. This is his chance, man. Is he gonna earn himself a job these last 3 games, or is he gonna fizzle out?
Well, I mean, he did it last year in Pittsburgh. You know, he played well at the end of the season, and he didn't get a job.
Well, I mean, he got a job. I mean, he's got a paycheck, that's for sure.
Yeah, but he could have stayed. He probably could have stayed in Pittsburgh and got that too. I mean, I think this is an ideal spot for him to come in, going up against Indianapolis. Indianapolis's defense, you know, I mean, he can get in there. He can get comfortable real quick. He's got a couple of nice receivers down there. Yeah, I think I like Mason. We all know that, you know, and I think he's been given a bum deal, you know, his whole career. But you know, maybe he just didn't deserve it. But you know, I think he's going to do well this weekend. I still think Indianapolis is going to win this game, but guess what? Watching Levis play last week, he needs to be out of the league. He really does. He is bad. He can go and make his living, you know, selling Duke's Mayo or whatever, helmets or
he loves mayonnaise.
But I mean, he is a terrible quarterback. It's I hate to say it, you know. I mean, they're my team. You know, if I had a team, they're my team. But he's not good.
Well, we'll see what Levis can do and see if he can, like I said, earn himself a job. Job for next year. We talked a lot about the college football playoff. I probably should have had this slide a little bit. We're going to go rapid fire here. We're not going to talk too much about the games. First game kicks off tomorrow night. You got Indiana going to Notre Dame. Who do you got in this one, Prophet? I'll go first. It's in my plays of the week. I got Notre Dame winning this game pretty big, pretty handily. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah,
the line is 7. Line 7, by the way.
They're all big lines. They're all huge lines for, you know, first rounds of playoffs. But yeah, I agree with you. I think ND, you know, romps in this one.
Let's go to the Penn State game. I believe that one's next. Penn State, SMU. You mentioned SMU, first time coming over to play in the blusters of where the hell they play? State College, Pennsylvania.
Happy Valley.
Yeah, Happy Valley. I got What's the line in this one? Do you know?
Not exactly, but I know that's 7 or 8.
I think Penn State wins, but I think it's closer than everybody anticipates. Like, I think Penn State's going to win a close one, honestly. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think Penn State's going to get the win. I haven't done enough research on it yet to, make a prediction on the spread. Um, with college and these transfers, that's why I didn't get into that bowl pool I was telling you about last week. There's so much time that goes into making selections, which has worked out for me so far. I'm 3-1 in the college bowls, but you got to do so much research to find out who's there and who ain't. I like Penn State in this game, but I'm not sure that they're going to cover yet.
Yep. Next game's Clemson at Texas. I think Texas is going to roll in this one. I think, they're probably I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're the best team in this eight-team group here in the first round. I got Texas winning big in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, I got Texas also, and the same thing. I mean, I haven't checked to pick a spread winner, but I think Texas wins this. If I'm not mistaken, they're like 12 and a half point favorites in this game. Yeah, there's a big number on that one, and rightly so, I think.
And our last game gives us Saturday night primetime action. Ohio State hosting Tennessee Volunteers. Did you say they never played before, or was that the game?
They did play. They played like 40 years ago. I looked
okay.
back, and
as much as I would love, you know what? Screw it. I don't like Ohio State. I think I'm going to go with Tennessee here. I don't know what the line is, but Tennessee in an upset because I'm sure they're not favored.
Yeah, they're getting a touchdown. And this game, I will go on record with the line. I'm taking the Vols here. Go Vols.
There you go. And that's with research, or is that with your heart?
Nah, that's a heart play, but I'm not.
I'm just not entirely sold on Ohio State.
I'm not sold on Ohio State either. And, I mean, it's one of two things going to happen after research. Sling, I'm either not going to bet the game or I'm going to bet Tennessee. I will not play Ohio State. I can't sit there and root against,
Well, you got Ohio State. You got a Big Ten team facing an SEC team. And it doesn't happen very often this late in the season unless it's a big time game. Right. And speed kills. That's where I'm not. I think Tennessee's got this one, but we'll see. Nonetheless, big weekend. Obviously, huge weekend of college football. I do want to plug something real quick. I'm hosting a national championship block pool to help the cause. $20 a block for the national championship title game. Excuse me. National title game being held January 20th, 2025. The numbers will be drawn at random after all the blocks are full. Pick your own block, $20 per block. 0-0 block automatically wins $25. So you get $25 just for not doing anything. If you're lucky enough to get the 0-0 block, you get $1.75 at the end of the first quarter. $2.75 at halftime. I'm sorry, I think it's $1.50 at the end of the first quarter, $2.75 at halftime, $1.50 at the end of the third quarter, and then $400 at the end of the game. So if you're interested in getting a block or two, again, $20 a block, shoot me an email. It's on my email's on there, or you can send Prophet an email and he'll send it over to me. So
guys, remember this is a fundraiser too. Okay, this is to help out the Sling's football team, high school football team. So, yeah,
yep, for sure. Help the cause. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're moving on to our advanced sports leaderboard. We had a big week. We had a little shift this week. Mighty Pound Cake comes on top of the leaderboard this week.
Wow.
160 points. He had a huge week, 14-2. Okay. He had a huge week, 14-2. He gained 2 games over the second place player, who is Talon. All right. So Talon went 12-4. Mighty Pound Cake went 14-2. Big Pick Energy goes 13-3. Mrs. Peeves goes 13-3. Brother-in-law Greg goes 13-3. Lana 13-3. Nice week out of you, Lana. Radomir goes 13-3. Talon 12-4. Farmball 12-4. It brings our leaderboard. You got Mighty Pound Cake on top with 160 points. Talon in second place with 158. Radomir in a true third with 157. And then you got Farmball, Johnny H, and the Peebler still tied in fourth place at 156. There's 3 weeks left, and there's 4 games that differentiate from the top 5 or 6 spots. Still a tight race. Make sure you guys are playing every week. Anybody's game still. You just saw that there was a shift in last week. We had, I think, 5 teams tied for first. So, any given week, these last 3 weeks, it could change a lot. So make sure you're still participating. And again, even if you're not in it for the total year-to-date leaderboard, you could still win that $25 gift card from Proffet if you come in first with a perfect score in the weekly pick'em too. So weekly pick'em pool sponsored by Advanced Sports. Again, $100 gift card from us and a service package from Advanced Sports valued at approximately $300 from them. So it's coming down to the wire. Going to be fun to watch the finish here. I wish I could say I was in the mix, but I haven't been in the mix in a long time, Proffet. So
after week 2, I believe. But yeah.
Well, we strayed from our usual kind of format tonight, but we're still keeping the Jug Handle In game of the week, obviously, because Jug Handle In is our sponsor here. Game of the week brings us to the Philadelphia Eagles taking a trip down I-95 to Landover, Maryland, to visit those Washington Commanders. Eagles go into the game 3.5-point favorites, which I think is a little light. Over under set at 45.5. Jug Handle In, located on Route 73 in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. Delicious, juicy wings, great specials, a great holiday menu. If you want anything for the holidays, get your orders in for the holidays. Go in there. Great spot to be. Great spot to spend some time and have some good food, some good drinks. Proffet. This line is low to me, and I don't know why. I got the Eagles in this one, 34-17.
Yeah, I mean, it seems low, but you go back in the past couple of years, and Washington has played well against the Eagles when they didn't have much of a team, and now the Skins need this game. Eagles are going into Washington. Yeah, I can see the line. I think the Eagles win the game, cover, close game. I got them. I really lost a lot of faith last week in watching Washington play the Saints when a third string quarterback with a backup running back and no receivers just marched down the field on this defense at the end of the game, and in all probability should have won the game. They went for 2 and didn't make it. Yeah, Washington wasn't playing prevent; they were playing defense, and I'm saying to myself, this is not good, and they got to play the Eagles next week. I still think they're going to play tough, though. I got the Eagles 34-30.
Oh, just a 64-point game on your side, so.
Yeah,
we both got the Eagles with 34. That's interesting. So, as always, make sure that you get out to the Jug Handle In. If you got anything going on this holiday season, you need some last-minute side dishes, whatever it might be, Jug Handle In's got some delicious food, delicious drink, just a good place to spend some time. Jug Handle In. Got wings.
Hey, Sling, just a little tidbit here, okay? If we had played a round robin on our picks last week, okay, we would have hit the Jug Handle game because I had the Eagles at 20-13 and you had them 27-20. So,
what was the final score?
27-13.
Well, There you go. Too bad it doesn't work like that. You got to hit it right on. You got to hit it right on the head. Prophet. I know fantasy's going into championship mode. Do you got any? You got any emails or any questions from anybody or what?
Yeah, no worthy questions, but I do have a couple of plays for the week. Okay, these are my starts for this week. Okay, quarterback Sam Darnold, wide receiver T Higgins, and running back James Conner. You got these guys on your roster. Make sure they're in your lineup this week. Okay, sitting Gus Edwards going against Denver. Well, it's kind of late, but you make sure you sit them tonight, okay? And here's one that you guys ain't going to like hearing, okay? But you got Cooper Kupp on your team, man. He's got to be on your bench this week, or you're going to lose your playoff game, okay? Terrible matchup going against the Jets in 24 degrees, if it's that much. And I only got one pickup, okay? That was one player that was worthy. I'm actually down on him a little bit with SGR starting, but I still think he's going to have a good game. Or DTR.
DTR.
Yeah. Jerome Ford. Okay, going against that terrible Cincinnati defense. They're going to have to score to stick with Cincinnati. So if you need a running back this week, Jerome Ford's your man.
We got another running back play for you, Prophet.
Okay, shoot him.
Pick up Brandon Peebler for the San Francisco 49ers because they got nobody else at running back. You see that the guy Isaac Godardo or whatever is out now.
Yeah, he's out now. What, Patrick Taylor, I think, is starting. Starting for them.
Just talk about a team that's really down on their luck, but holy smoke.
Fifth string running back.
We're moving on to our plays of the week segment, and look at all that green, Prophet. I got to give you your flowers. You've been dancing around it for a couple weeks now. You've been dancing around that 300% or 100%. Okay, and you finally come up with it. All right, I'm coming in at 50%. It seems like I've been 50% every week. It's not doing a lot for me though, you know.
Yeah, kissing your sister, man.
I know. I've been breaking even every week, but I got Navy. I won my Navy play here, 6.5, 140 to win 270, and then I lost my touchdown parlay. Prophet, talk about your week though, man. You went for 3 for 3.
Yeah, and the Dallas game, that was a money line pick, and they were. Thanks, Larry. They were an underdog in that game going into Carolina. I just couldn't say it. I thought that was wrong. Wrong favorite. They won that game easily. The Jets, they soared over their team total, and Arizona gave us a little scare, but in the end, they still did it. They scored a late touchdown. I think 4 or 5 minutes left in the game to go up to put 30 up. So. Good week, 7-3 in the games of the week, for a 10-3 week for the Prophet. Guys, we made money this week. I hope you did too. Okay, I know some of the profiteers that were in with me made a lot of money. Hopefully you guys did also.
It's over 650 bills coming back to you, Prophet. It's always a good weekend. We talked about it earlier. We got our plays of the week going here, our final segment of the night. Notre Dame, I got -7, 160 to bring back 299. I just think that they're going to lay into Indiana.
I do too.
Tomorrow night.
That.
And then I got my touchdown score for Sunday. I got Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs. Remember, there's no David Montgomery anymore, and Saquon Barkley. All right, these are 2 or 3 huge favorites to score an anytime touchdown. I got 160 to bring back 513 on that. My balance after last week was 20 and 159. I'm spending 320 this week. Brings me to a current total of 1839. Prophet, talk about yours.
Yeah. I start off with my play of the week. I'm going with the over in the San Fran Miami game, 44.5. You just touched on it. San Fran has no running game. They're going to have to throw the ball. Purdy's going to have to throw the ball 45 times in this game. You got 2 teams that have pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. they're going to go out there and have fun. I could see, they're not going to go after the Buffalo Detroit total, but they're going to put 65 points or more up on the board in this one. I'm wagering 220 to bring back 420 in that one. I touched on it earlier. My second play, I'm going with the over Tennessee team total of 19.5. Okay. Rudolph, Indianapolis defense. I see lots of points in this game also. I'm wagering 112 to bring back 212. And my last play, I'm going back to the San Francisco game, and I'm going with the over team total of 23.5 for San Fran. Again, they're going to have to chuck the ball a lot. It's going to be a high-scoring game down there. I'm wagering 100 to bring back 214 on that one. Guys, it took 15 weeks, okay, but we got there, okay? We doubled our money plus after 15 weeks. I just hope you guys have been on for the ride. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah. For us both to be in the black right now is something to be said. For the whole season here, documented picks, Proffet and myself, both in the black. I hope you're riding our coattails because, again, people pay good money to have those kind of picks being played out. Obviously, everything's free here, and then Proffet's got his own plays on Sundays that he doesn't even put on the show, so just email him and he'll get those plays out to you. Anybody who's partaking in their fantasy football championships and or playoffs, best of luck to you this week. Next week is Christmas. We will not be on Wednesday. We won't be on Tuesday. We'll let you know if we're going to get on Thursday. Hopefully we can get on Thursday, and who knows? Maybe we'll come up with something. But whatever we do, we'll announce it on our Facebook page. Make sure you follow us. Have a safe, healthy Merry Christmas. If you celebrate, just be with your loved ones. Enjoy everybody's company. Stay safe. We appreciate all you guys, and we look forward to having you back with us next week. As always, for myself and the Proffet, this is the Sling'n Proffet podcast, baby. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We love you guys.